Hello YouTube family and light workers. That's who this message is for today, because I really wanted to explain what my video yesterday that I posted was all about. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'll link it below, or you can just go check it out on my page. It was in regards to agendas that are trying to be pushed right now in the United States. And usually things that get pushed in the United States, you know, they kind of go worldwide. And usually I don't like to even dive into those topics. There's plenty of truthers out there that are, you know, breaking all this down, and people are getting that information. But as a mother, as a human being, and as a light being that understands that we're all one, there's certain times that we have to be a part of that divine intervention. And Spirit will tell you when it's your time to do things like that as a light worker. So the night before, not last night, the night before I made this video, Spirit called me. It was like 9 o'clock at night. Go make mugwort tea. I hadn't drank it in a while, but I always have it like in a glass jar just in case. And for those of you who don't know that much about mugwort tea, it helps you with lucid dreaming. It helps you with remembering and retaining your dreams. It also has health benefits, but I think the reason that I was pulled to use it that night is because I needed to really pay attention to my dreams. Fast forward, I fall asleep after I drink the tea, and I lay down, and I wake up the next day. I mean, I was knocked out. I was out. I did not get up once throughout the entire night. Wake up the next morning, and I woke up lucidly right before I woke up in the dream. I remember talking about what was going on. So I was speaking on it in my dream, and then I woke up, and I felt the collective energy on a whole nother level. And so what they told me was I had to get on the collective timeline, because normally I'm on a 5D timeline, and these things don't really bother me. No matter how crazy things look, it doesn't sway my vibration. I don't feel that fear anymore. I don't live in that fear anymore, okay? But sometimes as light workers, we have to hop on another timeline so we can meet people where they're at. And so when Spirit does this with me and I'm on that timeline, I'm empathic. So I feel the fear. My mama bear came out. Like, you're not going to force me to do anything, right? And I felt a lot of different things that the collective was feeling. And I had to make this video to meet people where they're at and fire them up and help them understand that we have to be a part of this change, right? Because I definitely had to be at the same vibrational level to deliver this message, because if I came through with this very esoteric spiritual message, it wasn't going to reach who it needed to reach. Because a lot of light workers, they already are awake to this stuff. And my channel is kind of directed to that. But this video was more to post on my Facebook and my YouTube so people could see it and share it. And my Instagram. I was sharing it everywhere. And my stuff that I post on YouTube, I normally do not post on my Facebook, because my family and friends and stuff, they're not really receptive to it, the esoteric stuff. And they just, because they're at a lower vibrational level, they mentally lose this respect in a way. I don't want to call it respect, because I feel like they have respect for me and they see me as like this person who knows a lot of things. Like, whoa, she's always talking about crazy things, but I don't quite understand it. I don't understand what vibration is. I don't understand. So I really had to come down to this different timeline to deliver this message, okay? And what they wanted me to tell you is that, think of it as in like when you're meditating and you're connecting with an interdimensional being, and in order for them to connect with you, a lot of times they have to lower their vibration to be a match to be able to communicate something to you. Or they have to come in so you perceive them as like a being that you're comfortable with. So angels don't necessarily have to look like they have wings and all these other things. But if you say you grew up in religion, they'll present themselves to you when you start getting into spirituality as that portrayal with wings, or you know, whatever way is comfortable for you, they'll meet you there. So when they deliver the message, you're actually receptive to it. Your heart is open to it, and you're not sitting there in fear because you're not sure what you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the same type of concept. And as a light worker, we have to understand how to be able to jump on this timeline and then detach from that and jump back to where you were at in this higher vibrational space. And honestly, it takes a lot of healing work. It takes a lot of like really seeing everything for what it is, you know, to be able to understand and implement these concepts into helping others and being a light worker. And so yesterday, I'm not gonna lie, after like all morning, I just was like, you know, brainstorming things I wanted to talk about so I could write them down. I wouldn't miss anything. And I literally obsessed over making this video all day. Like spirit, that's what spirit does to me. They're like, you're not going to be able to mentally or physically feel better until you do this task. That's literally how it feels. And even all day yesterday, it was really hard for me to hop back on the 5D timeline after being so immersed in the collective energies yesterday. So yesterday was tough for me, I'm not gonna lie. But I knew all I had to do was go to sleep and hit the reset button. I'd wake up and I'd be like on it again. And I feel great about life and great about what's happening and what's unfolding in terms of the aspect of rebuilding, you know, society, because this is a beautiful opportunity to do that. But I couldn't get there in my brain yesterday because it just felt like there were too many obstacles. Anyways, I took a melatonin and went to sleep and hit the reset button. I woke up and I feel great again. And I'm back on that 5D timeline. But we have to understand, like, we don't have to do anything. But as light workers, like, we're called here to make these little, I guess, sacrifices. I didn't feel like yesterday was a sacrifice, though. I felt like good about it at the end of the day because I'm reaching people who just need that support, like that mom who has to go to the doctor and stand up for herself when they're trying to force things onto her or her children or any person, and being able to say no and stand up for yourself, and knowing that other people do too, because a lot of people just feel like alone in the process. And so to share my experiences and to show people, like, you don't have to just passively accept everything that gets delivered to you and through the media or your doctor or whoever, and you can really change your whole life. You know, that message needs to be given to people. People need that reassurance, and so that's what we're here for. Really going on a camera and telling people that the way to change the world is to pour love into these dark forces, these dark energies that are scaring the shit out of them. People aren't ready to hear that. They don't understand what you mean. And that's why we have to, you know, meet them where they're at. And honestly, all morning, actually the whole drive here, because I came to the grocery store, I was praying out loud as I was driving, you know, talking to the universe. You can call it prayer if you want, and I was just pouring love onto all the darkness, alchemizing it, just affirming it. And I'm not gonna lie, when I have these conversations with the universe, I sit there and cry. But it's not from a space of sadness. It's from a space of love and just sheer gratitude for the fact that I'm here. And I'm so honored to be able to be a conduit of light to those who need it right now. To be able to understand that all is well, and that things don't have to be scary unless you choose to perceive them to be that way. There's always a solution. The universe can work out so many different, beautiful solutions for you and for the collective. And that is what's happening right now. And we have to hold that space and hold that light too, more often than we're meeting people at their level and trying to just be a truther all the time and really wake people up. We have to, there's people that have that, I guess, job, if you want to call it that. And there's people who hold the light and transmute the darkness. I mean, it's insane. It is insane when you wake up and you see how this universe works, how everything is connected. I just want to say I appreciate all of you who have commented on that video and felt supported from it, because it wasn't easy for me to get all worked up like that. But the universe made me a feisty little person. I'm not even a little person, I'm a tall person, but made me a feisty person for a reason, you know? And I want to come from a place of love and supporting others and just like using that personality trait that I was born with to the good. Because I could use that to go argue with people all day on Facebook about what's right and what's wrong and why they should, you know, I got attacks on Facebook, which I knew was going to happen. I only got a couple. I knew it was going to happen because, you know, people are very attached to what they feel is safe. People are very set in their ways. They're afraid of change, especially in a time like this, but there is no going back to normal. Everything is changing. And our job is just to reassure everybody and to be that light and that example. So we can't sit back and say, I'm going to keep doing things the same old ways. You have to keep the really great stuff and then be creative. Dive into that divine feminine energy and show your life, show yourself what it's like to live in that pure space of oneness and gratitude and appreciation and forgiving those who trigger us and understanding that they're just coming from a place that their inner child needs that love. They need that healing and love. And what can we do to help them? Is it debating them on Facebook? No, it's saying, I appreciate your perspective. And keep it moving. And if people still keep attacking you, then feel free to like delete their comments and block them. And that's what I do, because I can't get worked up about it, because that's just not helping them or me. It's just sitting in like resentful energy or angry energy, and it doesn't serve them. It doesn't serve us, because at the end of the day, if you say something angry or mean or low vibrational to somebody, we're all one. So you're saying it to yourself. You're impacting you. And if you really understand how the interconnectedness of everything is, we'd realize that people are just coming from the space they are in their journey. Pour love and light on this situation. Try to be understanding. If they still come at you with friction, then you can set a healthy boundary. Approaching people like they have a wounded inner child is how we have to look at the whole situation. The entire situation, no matter how nasty a person seems to be or what terrible things have happened that they were involved with, at the end of the day, it's their darkness crying out for that light, crying out for that love, crying out for their inner child to be able to play again. They're so caught up in ego, and their ego has in the driver's seat and is just like got a 5,000 seat belts attached, and they're still driving the car, and they're like, I just couldn't detach from this if I wanted to. So what is going to happen with all this darkness? Well, it's going to come to a boiling point and it's going to be alchemized. But it's a collective dark night of the soul, people. It's not going to be pretty, you know, and we have to understand, especially if we've gone through a lot of our healing process, that that has to happen. It has to happen to wake up and to create change. You have to crumble everything down so you can rebuild new. Don't worry, you know? Yesterday I felt like I was, you know, in that space all day because I had to deliver this message, but now I want to come back full circle and talk to the Lightworkers and say, don't let that video bring fear into you, because that was not the intention. The intention was to connect with people who needed that message, because that's where they're at. And if you look back on your journey, a lot of us were there when we started waking up and seeing things for what they were. And that's the message you need at that time. And then the universe is going to bring them the messages they need along the way as they grow and start to heal and alchemize their darkness. And just saying, like, as a human being, darkness is going to come up. Darkness, we have a light side and a dark side. We have these, the ego doesn't die. You just start to understand how the universe works, and that the ego is just starving for the light. It does things because it's afraid, because it's trying to protect itself. And then we understand that and empathize with that. But then we set this healthy boundary of, listen, ego, I understand this is a human being. We're gonna feel, you know, low vibrational feelings. That's just what comes with being a human. So that's always gonna be there. We're always, like, maybe experience a loss, and we feel that grief. But don't get down on yourself about the grief. Just understand, like, that's your human feeling. And how courageous is it to just say, that's okay. I am not those feelings. I'm an infinite being of light. But because I chose to incarnate into this human body, I have to understand that those feelings and those experiences come with being here right now. So we can help alchemize these, not just your own darkness from this incarnation, but from past lives and generationally. That's like literally in our DNA, how to transmute this. And then once we do, we realize that not only do we impact our own individual lives, and that you'll see that physically manifest as you know, go on your journey, but we're impacting everyone and everything around us, because we're all connected. And we're harnessing this light and anchoring this light for people who are coming down the path and ready to wake up and heal themselves and declare themselves a sovereign being. So really, I just want you all to know that I love you, and keep doing what you're doing. Seriously. This isn't for the faint of heart. We all are in this together. And I really wanted to post this video to show my support for not only those who are just waking up and need to hear that information, or people who need to feel supported by that information, but people who are well on their way and trying to do the same thing I'm doing in helping the world heal, you know? So I love you guys, and have an awesome rest of your day.